As we move to conclude our candidates forum, and our candidates are getting ready to present their closing remarks, I would just like to remind our voters that you are watching the candidates forum of the Council at Large candidates for the municipal election to be held on Tuesday, May 13th, 2014. You'll get your sample ballot in the mail. You'll see you'll have a list of all the candidates that you've heard this evening. You will also see a statement that this municipal election is a nonpartisan election for the city of Paterson. You will be confined to one choice for the office of mayor and 3 choices for the office of council at large. What does nonpartisan mean? Nonpartisan means that you're not voting on a party line, either Democrat or Republican. You go into the voting booth, you go into your polling site, or you vote by mail ballot, and you vote for one choice for mayor and 3 choices for council at large. You do not have to declare a party. I would also just like to remind our voters who live in the 5th Ward, we've had a polling place change from the YWCA on Carroll Street. The polling site has been changed to the Reverend William Griffin Homes at 199 Carroll Street. And the entrance to that polling site is on Ellison Street. This is the 5th Ward, 1st District. To our seniors who live in the Reverend William Griffin Homes, your voting location has been changed, and you may vote in the in your community room, which is located on the ground floor of your building. Anyone who formerly voted at the YWCA will now vote at the Reverend William Griffin Homes. Now, it's right across the street from the YWCA. If you have any questions regarding your voting location, please call the office of the city clerk at 973-321-1310. Once again, as we move to conclude our Council at Large candidates forum, we will now close with our candidates presenting a 5-minute closing remarks. We will begin with our candidates in reverse alphabetical order. Therefore, our first candidate to present his closing remarks will be Haitham Yunus.
Thank you, ma'am. Good evening again, Patersonian. In May 13, you are invited to vote. You have the power right now. You have to decide for who you're going to vote. You have the power to change. Don't blame anybody. After May 13, oh, we vote for this one, he didn't deliver any things. They just deliver promises. And after they get elected, you see their back. They promise you with result. There is no result. They promise you with accountability. We didn't see any accountability. Dear Patersonian, this is the time for you to change the direction for vote. This is the time for you to vote out who's not qualified. Don't blame anybody. I am Haitham Yunus, 6B. My platform is no more tax hike. Toughen crime for you and your family. In 5 minutes or less, police respond. Plan. I am the only candidate. He running, giving away the salary, $42,000. I'm running just for $1 to serve Patersonian, to serve my city, Paterson. We are here in this city, one family. No difference between Hispanic, Arab, Black, Muslim, Christian, Jew, Buddhist. If something happens, it's going to happen to all of us. If there is harm, it's going to harm all of us as a resident in city of Paterson. Let's go look for a new Paterson, for Paterson. Let's build Paterson Park. Let's make Paterson a successful city. with successful people, with successful businesses. I'm a businessman. I own multi-property in Patterson. I am going to invest more and more in this city because I have hope, faith in God, in our Lord, and they also hope in the good people in this city. Dear Pattersonian, during these years, we're facing many corruption in this city, mismanagement, misleading. We blame ourselves because we vote for that person or this person. But this time, we have to change. We have to change and dig behind each candidate. And my number's available in my sign, in my postcard. You could call me. We could sit and talk. Don't take it personally. Don't take it this person is from this community, or this person belongs to my community. This person he look like my color. This person he speak my language. No, don't take it this way, because we all of us Pattersonian. We are big family, not dividing. If anyone he gonna look at it in a corner of racism, races build hatred, and hatred build divisions. We need to build unity for our city. We want to make all Pattersonian united, one family. Everyone care for the others, not just for the selfish people they take, not deliver anything. There is many candidates. All of them, they have a full-time job. Why they jump into this part-time job? They collecting $42,000 for 5 hours working every Tuesday from 7 o'clock to 12 o'clock. Which result are you going to get from these people? Nothing. I am not promising anybody anything, but I'm going to make sure I'm going to work hard to deliver for you the best I could, the best God give it to me. The power, my Lord, He gave it to me to help our community. God bless Patterson. God bless America. God make Pattersonian united, one family. Thank you so much. Good night.
Thank you, Mr. Yunus. Our next candidate to give his closing remarks will be Mr. Kenneth M. Morris, Jr. Mr. Morris, you may begin.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a very long night. Ladies and gentlemen, a few years ago, I was blessed with a wonderful woman as my life partner, and we are pleased that this city we call home has a group of well-meaning, community-conscious individuals who have stepped up to the plate in an effort to be part of the solution and not part of the problem. And I'm talking about everyone seated to my right and to my left. This group of dedicated men and women sitting alongside me should be applauded for their willingness to step up and take part in a system that is built on the same democratic principles that have made this country the envy of the free world. Yet, this system, for all its strengths, possesses one major weakness. It is a system that has no real test to determine the qualifications of an individual who may want to run for elected office. You be the judge. Tonight was a citizen's interview. Ask yourself a few simple questions before giving an individual your vote of confidence. Did they answer the question, or did they dance around it in an effort to mislead you? Were they prepared and respected you by doing their homework? Which candidate had a firm grasp of the facts and can articulate a complete agenda that addresses your needs? Who just simply piggybacked off another candidate's response? Did a candidate simply play to your emotions in an effort to avoid the question asked? In the next few years, Patterson will be faced with one of its greatest financial challenges ever. There are all indications coming out of Trenton that the state will no longer provide financial assistance to distressed cities at previous levels, unless you have experienced, competent, and proven leadership in place the financial impact on you will be devastating. As chair of the Finance Committee, I, along with my fellow committee members, have been reviewing the data, and the conclusions are the same. This is no time for experimenting with leadership based solely on handshakes, pleasantries, and meaningless promises. Some of you will vote with your heart in this upcoming election. Your heart will tell you to vote for a candidate because you know their family, they speak the same language as you, or they show up at events that you attend. I only suggest that you consult your pocketbook before asking your heart what to do. Only then will you take the first step to voting for someone who may be capable of actually doing this job. I hope on May 13th, one of those individuals is me. A person throughout his tenure has developed innovative, progressive, and original legislation that delivered results. Vote row 7B, Kenneth Morris Jr. on May 13th. Again, I'd like to thank you and your family for another opportunity to serve you. Good night.
Thank you, Mr. Morris. Our next candidate to present his closing remarks will be Mr. Alex Mendez. Mr. Mendez, you may begin.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. To the resident of the great city of Patterson, thank you and your family for the opportunity that you gave us to present our agenda, our political platform. It's been a great honor tonight to be along with my colleague or other candidate and spending those couple of hours talking about issues that are affecting our community. But I've been elected for the past 4 years. Patterson is the only home that my family knows, and I'm not planning to leave. I came here, and this great city gave me everything I have at this time right now, which is a beautiful family, 3 beautiful children, a beautiful wife, and my business. And it's time to give back to the community. I started giving back to the community in 2009, like I said it before, and I will continue working with my community because I believe in Patterson. I believe that we could make change in the city right now. Patterson, this is one of the most important elections, and I encourage you to please come out and vote for the person that you believe that has the leadership, for the person that you will see after election in the street, addressing those problems, getting in contact with those families. It's impossible to be involved in the community if you're not there to listen to their concern. Safer street job creation and lower property tax. Unfortunately, we couldn't have the chance to talk about more about safer street, but that's one of my main concerns because I want to make sure that my children have a better place to live, and your children and your family as well. And I started in 2010 introducing that resolution, which is the Uniform Policy Resolution. I've been the board member representing the school, the commissioner, to the Hinchley Stadium Commission that is in charge of the restabilization project. I have the leadership that it takes to be sitting here, and I will represent every ethnic group in the city of Patterson. And something more importantly is that I'm not pretending to come here and answer all the questions because I might don't have the answer to those questions, but I will go deep. I will go back and do my homework and come back to an answer, to a responsible answer to our community, to our registered voter. If you think that Patterson is moving in the right direction, it's fine. You could vote for the same person that you have in charge. But if you believe that we need to change it, I will please and humbly ask you to please consider me as one of your candidates. I'm Alex Mendez. I'm 3B on the ballot, the person that is always in the community, helping the community, taking care of those critical issues that are affecting our residents in the city of Patterson. God bless you all. Have a great night. And don't forget, please get involved. When you don't get involved, you become part of the problem instead of being part of the solution. I'm Alex Mendez, 3B on the ballots. God bless you, and thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mendez. Our next candidate who will give his closing remarks will be Mr. Kenneth McDaniel. Mr. McDaniel, you may begin.
Thank you, Madam Clerk, and thank you, Patterson, for this wonderful opportunity to serve you once again. As many of you know, I ran for office for the first time in 2010. I was elected, initially announced as one of the winners of that particular election. There's a long story of what happened with regard to voter fraud and things of that nature, and throughout the last 3.5 years, that issue has played out in court. Moving forward, in 2012, an opportunity was available for me to run for a special election when Councilman Wimberly was elected to the New Jersey Assembly. I'm happy to say that I won that election in 2012, and after my first year or so on the council, I was elected by the City Council as the City Council Vice President. I sit before you here this evening as the City Council Vice President. I have intention in my next 4 years to also move through the ranks to City Council President. So when you're contemplating voting for someone, when you're contemplating who has what it takes to be in this seat, who has what it takes to move forward, to move this city forward, I need you to think of Ken McDaniel, row 5B. I need you to look at what I look at when I'm evaluating candidates. I look at commitment and proven track record. I also look at experience and education. With my commitment and proven track record, even prior to being on the council, I participated in numerous community service activities, and I'm a member of various groups in the city of Paterson, including my neighborhood association. I started a neighborhood block watch on my block, and I offered that service to many people throughout our communities, throughout the entire city. I'm a member of the Brothers of Paterson Incorporated, and I founded the Band Against Neighborhood Destruction. The list of my activities is lengthy. It goes on and on. As far as my tenure on the council for these 2 years, I've been involved in sponsoring and supporting very important legislation, primarily in the areas of quality of life and public safety. Some of those issues that I'm responsible for include banning replica handguns that create a dangerous hazard for our youth and our citizens on city streets, regulating business hours in hot spots, legislation preventing people from hanging out in front of stores, bodegas, liquor stores, and what have you, and blocking business. The resolution that declared violence as a public health crisis, expanding our police force through special police. When you go back to the education and experience, as far as education, I have a BA in sociology, I have a master's degree in administrative science, and I also have a PhD in education administration. Unfortunately, there was some attempt to, belittle me this evening with regard to my current level of employment. Yes, I am a vice principal. Yes, I am city council vice president. I stand before you, I sit before you this evening as a proud individual and a role model for our youth in the city of Paterson. I'm telling you and our youth that it can be done. We can be successful, and we should not be embarrassed about that. Dragging out my salary, I don't think that that was appropriate or necessary. However, as a child from Godwin Avenue, Governor Street, Graham Avenue, I'm proud that I can command such a salary, and I want to educate my people to the point where we move people out of poverty, out of despair, and into situations where they also can be proud. So we need to look forward and be responsible when we elect people to city government. Who do you want representing you? I believe that you want me. Over 5,000 people voted for me in 2010, and they voted for me again in 2012. I'm asking you to place me back in office so I can continue the great work for my city. Ken McDaniel, row 5B. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. McDaniel. Our next candidate who will present his closing remarks will be Mr. Bernard Jones, Jr. Mr. Jones, you may begin.
Good evening. 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 Good evening This has been one of the most talked about elections in a long time in the city of Patterson. It is about the citizens, actually, the citizens coming together and casting their vote for the individual that is going to think outside the box and think of innovative ways to bring ideas to the city. It is the job of council to bring the people together. And with that being done, once a strong mayor and administrative team is elected, then council, I think, can do their job. I'm asking the citizens that are discouraged, that are upset out there in Patterson, to come together with your family members and your friends and not just vote for me because you know me, but vote for me or any other candidate that you think is qualified enough to help the citizens of this city come up with programs, financial issues we need to address, housing, thinking outside the box, not just thinking about what goes on behind closed doors with legislation as well as the budget. So with that being said, I just ask that everybody come out and select the candidate that you think is going to help move you forward.
Are you concluded, Mr. Jones? Thank you, Mr. Jones. Our next candidate to present his closing remarks will be Mr. Michael Jackson. Mr. Jackson, you may begin.
Yes. Madam Clerk, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you for the opportunity to present my opinions, and thank you, the citizens of Patterson, for bearing through this long evening and being patient with us. Over the weekend, I had the privilege and the opportunity to hear a great man speak, and one of the things he said is it was not by chance that I happened to be number 8 on the ballot. This is a new season, Patterson. This is a new beginning, and I'm very excited. I'm very excited for the future of the city. I'm very excited about the potential of where we're going. I think we had a great group of candidates that was presented before you, and I think I actually resent the position that you're in, but I think that we are going to move forward in 2014. I hope I've conveyed my opinion or my message of being strictly, completely for the citizens of Patterson. I hope I've conveyed my message of being a true advocate for all of those citizens who live within the confines of the city. I hope I've conveyed my message of being your #1 champion to make sure all of the issues that concern you and your family, I hold those same sentiments close to me and close to my heart. You know, I had a great opportunity to leave this great city, to go on to college and further my education, where I believe I made my city proud. I went out and I pursued a higher education at a level in which I think this city can be proud. And I came home to continue to make you proud by being a mentor, a role model to those young people here in the city. And I hope that I continue to make you proud as a business owner, as I brought in a quality level of service and level of business to this city that has not been displayed here in quite some time. By being selected and chosen by Black Enterprise Magazine as a standout business, I hope that I made you proud. And as I move forward to moving the city's agenda forward, I hope I'm your selection, I'm your choice, and I hope that I've proven to you of being capable of being a strong, firm business person and a committed person that has stood the test of time. I could have given up, I could have quit a long time ago, but I believe in the city and I believe in everything positive that has to go on here. So again, 8B on the ballot. Better Patterson is the notion. There is no other exception. We cannot accept anything less. Unless you expect the city to move forward, then please make sure that you get out and exercise your right to vote on May 13th. Exercise your right and choose the candidate that you believe, or the candidates that you believe will move this city forward and that has your best interest at mind. Michael Jackson, May 13th, 8B. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Jackson. Our next candidate who will present his closing remarks will be Mr. Eddie Gonzalez. Mr. Gonzalez, you may
Thank you,
begin.
Madam Clerk. First, I want to thank the viewers for being patient with us tonight. And I also want to thank the candidates here. Like Councilman Ken Morris had mentioned, it takes a lot of guts to sit up here. It takes a lot of guts to want to change the city and step forward. There's a lot of individuals who complain about a lot of things, but do not take that initial step, and I think this is step number one. I hope that you had a chance to witness all the candidates express views of how city government works, how it should be ran and operated, and have answered the questions on how to move the city forward. I hope that all the voters who care about this city vote very wisely. Our city is at risk. Our future is at risk. Our children are dying. Businesses are struggling. Senior citizens are struggling as well. The focus shouldn't be about attacking one another. It should be about the city. It should be about the residents, all of you who are suffering in your own respective way. It's not about who I work for, but it's about what I have learned and what I'm going to bring to the city council. It's proven experience. Proven experience. Eddie Gonzalez, 2B, is my number. Vote for me if you are hungry for change like I am. Vote for me if you want a Patterson. If you want Patterson to be a safer city where businesses can thrive. Vote for me if you want Patterson to be a family-friendly city where children can play in front of their home. Vote for me if you want Patterson to be a senior citizens-friendly city where more services are accessible to them. Vote for me to be if you want this city to be a comeback city that we can be proud of again, especially when non-residents look at us as a wasted resource. But more importantly, vote for me if you want this city, if you want this an advocate to unite this city. It is time that we unite. Enough of the division, enough of the attacks. They say that we have a divided city and we're not focused on the real issues. We need to be focused on the real issues so that we can address it together collaboratively. This is the only way to move the city forward. I am and I will be your strongest advocate, one of your strongest advocates, and supporters with proven experience to do the job and do the job right. Imagine how much further we can go if you had elected officials representing you and only you, not a political party, not a contractor or anyone in specific. This is about you, the voters, the taxpayers. Paid $10,500 on my taxes. I don't feel that I'm getting the services. That's why I'm here today. I've always been an advocate. I will continue to be an advocate. And addressing the issues that our city needs addressed, whether it be homelessness, whether it be our youth in the street, whether it be a lack of jobs. We need to think out of the box collaboratively and put a plan together. And that's what I'm about. I roll up my sleeves, I take off this jacket, and I get to work. And if you want the city to move forward, I advise you, I beg you, vote 2B, because this city has to move forward. DCA is here monitoring every step we make. Just like the Board of Education over 20 years ago. They came in to do the same. And look what happened. They took over. I do not want to live in a city where this body is an advisory council, like the Board of Education being an advisory board. You need proven experience. Please vote for a better Patterson, one that we all can be proud of. Vote 2B. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Gonzalez. Our final candidate to present her closing remarks will be Ms. Maritza Davila. Ms. Davila, you may begin.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Once again, thank you, to your staff. It's almost midnight. To the viewers, Patterson, I sit before you as the last person to speak and humbly ask for you to vote for me on Tuesday, May 13th, to be your next councilwoman. I ask that you give me the opportunity to show you how committed I am in making Patterson a safe place to live, work, and raise a family. I could go home after work, relax, but I've chosen to take the challenge of improving and pushing this city forward. I want the Patterson I grew up in to come back. Our city is in dire need. The crime is high, taxes are high. When I open up my tax bill, I ask myself sometimes, how am I going to pay? There are low to no jobs, and our services are dwindling. I want to bring a new level of accountability and transparency to the residents and to the taxpayers of this great city. Pattersonians, I do have a plan. My relationships with the different levels of government will help better the situation we currently are in. As a mother and a homeowner, and as someone who wants to do right by the people, I ask you to give me, Maritza Davila, the opportunity to serve. It's time, Pattersonians. As I said today, I ask that you understand that all these changes we want will not happen overnight. So I don't ask today for your vote because I'm a female and I'm the only female running, and we need to diversify the council a little more. I'm not asking because I'm a Latina or because your son plays football with my son. I'm asking you to give me an opportunity. Vote for me because I have proven my passion and dedication to this city without being on the city council. My years of community activism and involvement are very obvious to many that see me on a day in, day out. Vote for me because I am honest and I have the relationships at the state, county, and municipal levels to help move this city forward. Trust me. Trust that just as I've worked tirelessly for our city while not in office, I will continue to work as a member of your city council. Vote Davila, 1B, for honesty, transparency, and fiscal responsibility. Vote Davila, 1B. Thank you, City of Patterson.
Thank you, Ms. Davila. I would like to thank our viewers and our voters in the City of Patterson. You have heard your council-at-large candidates. Certainly the forum will be re-televised several times before the election. As a voter in the City of Patterson, it's your responsibility to cast your vote on Election Day. You have heard from your candidates, you have heard their platforms, you have heard their remarks, you have heard their questions, and you, the voter, will make the final decision. Once again, these are your council-at-large candidates. You will be confined to voting for 3 of the candidates you have heard this evening. I am honored to have been a moderator for the council-at-large candidates this evening. I would like to once again present your candidates in the order that they are seated. Your first candidate that you heard was Maritza Davila. The next candidate was Eddie Gonzalez. Our next candidate was Michael Jackson. Our next candidate was Bernard Jones, Jr. Our next candidate was Kenneth McDaniel. Our next candidate was Alex Mendez. Our next candidate is Kenneth M. Morris, Jr.
Thank you to you and your staff, Madam Clerk, for this evening.
Our pleasure. And our final candidate is Hytham Yunus.
Thank you, Ms. Clark. I forgot to mention I am 6B, Okay, you have a good night, man.
Mr. Eunice, you sort of stretched the rules. I would like to thank our candidates for their patience. I would like to thank our candidates for participating. On behalf of the Patterson Municipal Council, we thank you for being a part of the council's candidates forum. We urge you, if you have any questions, if you need any assistance, myself and my staff, we're here to help you. So any questions you have, please do not hesitate to contact us.